I'm Andrew Sherman. I'm a Texas transplant who has always been in pursuit of art as a career. I've played in bands, pursued an acting career in Hollywood, but I found it behind the lens of a camera here in Dallas, Texas. I was born in New York, I've lived in Chicago, Los Angeles, Austin, but I love Dallas. There's a magical artistic scene in Dallas that mostly goes unnoticed to the outside world. This podcast is focused on what makes it so special and the people who make it thrive artistically. If you don't live here, and even if you do, you might not have heard of them. This is the Dallas Famous Podcast.
So who you gonna be? Who you gonna be when you're all grown up? Who you gonna be? Who you gonna be when you're over us? Yeah.
Violinist Sharla Franklin is a powerhouse. If you see live music in DFW, you probably have seen Sharla play. You may not recognize her sometimes because she will wear a mask. At the time of this interview, Sharla was active in 20 bands, and there's more in the works. Sharla is a true genre bender, playing both fiddle and violin, and has a goal of learning all genres of the violin. As it is, she plays country, rock, Irish, classical, and space violin. She plays in tribute bands, country bands, folk bands, and space-age bands as well. We talk about her Mormon upbringing and follow her musical history. Sharla is as charming as she is talented, and I know you'll enjoy this chat with her. Here it is. Here we are with Sharla Franklin. And I was going to ask this question because I thought I was being clever, and then it's on your Instagram that you play both violin and fiddle. Oh, so the question was, like, what do you do? But now I know. So now the real question is kind of like, what's the difference?
The joke is you can spill a beer on a fiddle.
Okay, that's the line of delineation.
There's really no difference in the instrument itself, but the style that you play it. I will say, like, when I was growing up, I did the classical and fiddle stuff. And so when you go to fiddle camp and your violin's all clean, they're like, ew, you don't play. But if you go to orchestra and your violin's all dirty, they're like, ew, you're dirty. So
that's funny. Like, you really were like living in two worlds in a way.
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting because I feel like, I get how you could cross over a lot, but like you, it's like your whole thing is doing everything on the violin.
Oh yeah, I try to get every style possible. I want to like master every style at some point. Okay. I'm getting there.
How many styles? Like in your mind, like how many styles do you have down? How many do you have left?
There's Irish and jazz and fiddle and bluegrass,
of course,
and Western swing,
right,
and then classical. So.
Yeah, and then whatever other electronic crazy stuff you're doing too.
Steampunk.
Steampunk.
Poppy.
Wait, what bands are steampunk? Is there like?
But Poppy's got her band's kind of. Well, we call it steampunk. It's kind of Sweeney Todd. I don't know how to describe it.
Sweeney Todd, like that, like Three Penny Opera. Wait, let me get this sound out. Okay.
Rock opera. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm definitely coming to a Helium Cream show coming up, but
that's totally different.
Yeah,
that's
what I'm saying. We're getting way ahead of ourselves. So traditionally, I start this by just saying, "Are you Dallas native, Texas native?"
Texas native. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was born and raised in Texas. But I grew up in the colony.
Okay.
And then I started living in Denton. I guess I started playing there 2012, and that's when I started kind of living back and forth. I was like in Denton and then Corinth, and then I think I came back to Denton.
You weren't going to school there, though, were you?
No, I actually never went to UNT there.
Okay, interesting.
I wanted to.
That you ended up there and you play, and then
Yeah, that was my original college choice.
Right.
When I was a junior, I was like, I'm going to UNT, and then I grew up Mormon. I went to BYU my senior year, and then I got engaged to the bass player at the university orchestra, broke it off a week before the wedding, and then was like, I'm not going back.
Wait. Okay, slow down. So just wasn't feeling it? Like, was it one of the sort of set up?
It went fast.
And you met it quick.
It was like within 2 months. Like, I was dating my high school sweetheart who went into the Air Force, and then I went to the Mormon school, and I broke under pressure. It was like, you want to be Mormon. You gotta Mormon life. So,
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
But yeah, so then we were gonna get married AA08, and went down to Texas. We were gonna get married, get married there, reception Dallas, reception Washington, and then Japan for a honeymoon. Live in his parents' basement for the rest of our lives. And I think I saw that, and I was like, I can't do that. I'm 21, I was 19.
But still, like parents' basement, like at 19 especially, you're like,
Yeah, no, it wasn't appealing. When I came home, I was like, what am I doing? And my parents were going through a divorce during that time too. So I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to stay behind. My dad needed me more, so I could tell.
Right.
So I stuck there. And then, and then I worked at Dave & Buster's for a little bit. And then someone there was like, hey, come play. Yeah, I didn't pick up violin for like a year and a half, which was really weird.
Was that like because you were upset, or you just knew life, like dealing with your dad and just changed?
The family split was kind of a bad thing too, and I stayed behind with my dad, and so they kind of like didn't talk to me for like 2 years, and so I wasn't even in the family band for like a little bit.
Wow.
But well, I mean, music brings everyone back together.
Well,
and
that's good.
Time heals. But yeah, so during that time, like at Dave & Buster's, one of my friends, Nolan, was like, hey, come play or audition for this theater thing, Phantom. And so I did, and then that ended up just bouncing from one thing to the other. I did that, and then Good Man Charlie Brown, and then Evil Dead the musical, and then
Fun.
Oh my gosh, it was so funny. And then Cannibal the musical, which is like, if you haven't seen it, it's like made by South Park, and it's hilarious. And,
where were you doing these shows? Where were they taking place?
So Garland Civic Theater, then Grapevine, and then those two, the Cannibal and Evil Dead, was around Halloween time. That was at the Dallas Hub Theater. Don't think it's around anymore, but yeah, that was tons of fun. And I did like a couple more shows with them, and then someone from one of those shows, Brady, was like, hey, you should come jam with us over in Denton. And that was like kind of the creation of Star Party. It was like just these people jamming, and then Jake, his girlfriend, was like graduating, and they wanted to do some party, and they liked Daft Punk, and we were gonna play it live with the projection on us. And then that's how we ended up doing that. And that's how we ended up wearing masks too, is when we did our first show, we wanted to be invisible with the background, but then with the black lights we popped out, and Daft Punk wears masks anyway, so we were like, or helmets, so the masks just stuck. But that's how the first band was born in Denton, and that's how I like started the whole Denton scene. And then one band leads to another. And,
that was your first, though. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Star Party was my.
Wow, that's cool.
Besides the family band, yeah.
Well, your first band outside the family, let's say.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's...
But yeah, so yeah, theater. I tell a lot of violinists that too. Like, if they're trying to bridge to either go into fiddle stuff or to go into theater, because it'll kind of help you improvise and like get a little more out there.
Oh, smart. Good tip.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, I mean, but then because you went to Denton, you just kind of fell out of the like theater stuff, or
well, it's very time consuming. You have to have at least 2-3, like usually 3 weekends in a row off, and then there's rehearsals at least during that first week, and it's just like it's very time consuming. And then it doesn't always. Some of them pay pretty well, but
right.
I think once I started getting in the band world, it's like you have so many gigs, things just pop up. You have to be
you're like
on
the
call.
First person in the world that's like the rock band thing actually pays more than the other music gig I was doing. It's like nobody ever says like this is more money than that. Like it's hilarious but I get it because you can do more of them. It's like you're not. I love theater, and I just cannot do a play at this point. It's just too time consuming, like you said. It's like every night for a month or something. You know?
So fun though. But
it's the best. I encourage anybody that has the time to do a play, whatever capacity. But anyway, cool. Oh, you grew up Mormon. Interesting.
Yeah.
Are you still Mormon or?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I like a lot of the fundamental values I got from it. But I mean, I think every religion has a lot of good stuff, and you just take the good pieces from it.
Did that influence your style in any way?
I mean, our family band was really close. Our family was really close. We had a Western swing band. So yeah, I guess that style-wise though, I mean, it's not like Mormons really play music. We were like the music family of the ward.
Okay.
So
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know much about Mormons, so I mean, I hung out with one in LA, but he was like an escapee. So
I love him. It's hard to get you get an attraction to that style of the way they look.
What do you mean the way they look? You mean just the clothes or?
They're hot.
They're hot. You're turned on by Mormons.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, is there a plethora of Mormons
around
around to pull from here? Or?
No, and that's a problem. So I actually was dating one not that long ago, like last year after me and my ex broke. So I was like, I only want to date fiddle players that pull small. And then I was like, okay, I'll open my mind to musicians. And then I ended up getting interested in a dancer violinist that was Mormon, and I was like, I'll go back to Mormon. I'll be Mormon praying
Oh, wow.
to
Okay.
church for a couple months, and now they're after me again.
Oh yeah, you like triggered the little.
But the thing is, like, in the Mormon community, it's like you get married so young. So singles ward, it's supposed to end at 30. So, but they realize people are waiting a little longer.
Right.
So they're like being more open to it. So I would be there. I was one of the older people, and it's like all the people that were there were really young girls, or kind of the leftovers. I don't want to say that. It's kind of bad. It's like I was the most like career-driven, hardworking, like.
Right. That's why you
and-
didn't bother. You just were working on your career. Was your focus.
So I was like, they had all this time to do all these temple things and church
Sure.
things,
Where
and
you
I was
can
like,
hang
I
out.
don't
Yeah.
have this kind of time. And there just wasn't many options because, like I said, they get married so young that, you know.
Yeah, that's interesting. The only thing I remember from my friend that was Mormon was we were in L.A. and he called our boss, who was 30, ma'am, and he did not hear. He didn't understand why he should not call in L.A. You can't call any woman under like 60, ma'am. It's like you're insulting. I'm like no other. So it was very sweet. I had to console him for a while, but anyway. So like you learned fiddle at 3, Suzuki method, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm jealous. Like I didn't learn about the Suzuki method till I'd already like bastardized my piano like brain. So
Yeah.
you know, how was that? I mean, like,
Well, I mean, I apparently didn't like it that much at first because I guess my mom taught me for a little bit, probably like 6 months or something, and then I didn't like practicing, and I broke the violin, broke the scroll off, and she was like, "I'm waiting till you're 4." And with our siblings, there's 6 of us, and so my older sister, and then I'm number 2, and it was piano, violoncello is what we all got assigned.
oh, you were signed. It wasn't even like you were
Yeah.
drawn to the fiddle originally.
No, and I found out years later that my youngest sister, she actually wanted to play violin too, but she was with cello, and then it didn't pan out with her. But she does guitar and amazing vocals. Both of my sisters are
Oh,
amazing
okay.
singers.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, the violin I ended up really liking, and I think I got taught by all 3 of my uncles. They all played, and my mom. But I think and our family band, the Fiddle Rascals, when we were, it was just a bunch of kids. There were like probably 10 violinists at that point. There were like kids outside of our family as well.
All Mormons, I'm guessing.
Yeah. No, well, actually, yeah. I think they were all Mormons. They were all, yeah, the Dunlaps, the Benavides, Emily. Oh, crap. What's her last name? She just got married. Yeah, there's a lot of, but they all, grow up, and it was just family left over. And I think we got the name Fiddle Rascals because when we were really little, my grandma would watch, she had the VHS tapes of the Little Rascals, and we would watch that.
Okay.
And then, all fiddle players in it. So
Right. I thought I read you still play with.
it's still going.
Wow.
So my uncle and we do the twin fiddle in it. And actually, two of my nieces are learning violin right now.
Oh, so
for
like
fiddle.
it could keep going.
It could keep going.
That is
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Now I wish I was Mormon.
Yeah.
I mean, I
We
play
have
music.
grandma to thank for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really her. Like, she started it all pretty much. so.
Right. I just love for music. Nothing to do with being a Mormon either way. Just love for music. But it's a fiddle. I mean, fiddle. Like originally, were you doing country at first, or was there a genre that you guys were like?
Well, Suzuki was like the main program that we started with.
Okay.
But so that was like 3 when I started learning that 3/4, and then
explain a little bit because most people I don't even know what that is.
Suzuki's like the program that you start when you're a violinist. It's like
Okay. Is it violin specific?
Twinkle Twinkle. It's got all the
But is it violin specific or is it?
yeah. It's definitely more classical.
I did
route.
not realize that. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, and then our family band started when I was about 5. So that's when the country started coming in. And then I went to fiddle camps, Bob Wills Fiddle Camp, Johnny Gimble Fiddle Camp, Randy Elmore Fiddle Camp. And then we did orchestras when I was about 8. So before I hit middle school, we were doing Flower Mound Community Orchestra.
Okay, community stuff. Gotcha.
We had like 2 uncles in there, my brother and my mom. And
Wow.
so we were all in it.
That's cool. So okay, so when you didn't like playing at first, like do you remember what
was
made
3.
you, well,
Earlier, yeah.
I mean, I feel like 3 is probably a little early to, my girlfriend, we're dealing with her daughter and she's learning violin actually, and she's not practicing because she's a kid and we're just trying to figure it out. It's funny because she said, ask Charla what she did. And I think she's going to love to hear that you broke it first, that you started with that. Because it's like, we're all human beings. Like, it's just like someone throws something at you doesn't mean you're going to take to it right away.
Yeah.
But do you remember a point where you're like, you know what, I do like this?
Yes. Well, I think also having, the community, our family band, once that started going and my uncles, like, it made me want to be better.
Mm-hmm.
But the candy trick.
The candy trick.
So like my mom would have like 10 circles and you would have to play it, like that many times, and you could fill in the circle, and every time you finish those 10 circles you get like a piece of candy.
I like it. Although I think we'd have to use Roboblocks rewards, but either way, that's a good idea actually.
My uncle was talking about how my grandma like would pay him like $1 or something for an hour or something. I can't remember. It might have been a penny or something.
Right.
But yeah, so by the end of the week, they would go pick out a G.I. Joe if you practice like an hour a day. Or something
that's
like
good.
That. So.
Okay, you did. You actually answered our question.
Yeah.
You've helped some young people or young parents out there with their kids. Because I am a believer that the younger you're exposed to music, the better your whole life is, whether you play it or not. But, I think that's scientifically proven. It's not just me.
I actually would take us to Toys R Us too, after.
Sure.
Yeah. So toys, if you don't want sugar. For
right.
kids,
of course. Well, it's not that. It's like she doesn't like sugar, so it doesn't motivate her.
Oh yeah.
It's not even. I mean, we love sugar. We're stupid, but. So I was looking. I mean, I'll admit, I was looking you up. I was trying to like get familiar. At one point in 2019, it said you were in 13 bands.
I'm in 20 now.
You're in 20 now? Oh my God. I was like, I hope she's still in some because of COVID and everything, but wow, 20 bands. Okay.
I know, I lost track. Then I had to count for someone one day, and then I was like, oh gosh. I made it to 20.
I don't know if I know anyone that can say that right now. And I know a lot of musicians. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, all right, well, let's break it down, I guess. Like, first of all, solo stuff. That's something you do?
Yeah, that's something that's fairly new, actually.
Oh, okay.
So that started like after COVID.
Okay.
Or during COVID, because when all the bands were down, I would do streaming on Twitch and take song requests on there. And that's when I started like you have to be on there minimum 3 hours until your channel really gets bumped up and start getting more viewership.
You mean a day or in general?
Consistently.
Oh, consistently. Yeah. Okay. I've not been on Twitch, I guess. I don't know Twitch about it.
Yeah, it's not, I mean, it's fun, but it was a lot of work. And but it was cool how I would make themes. So it would be like Mario night or Zelda night, and so I'd have all these songs from Mario, and then I would take song requests on top of that too, and dress in costume or whatever. So I would make it fun. But yeah, so that would kind of get me into formulating playlists per themes, and that kind of carried on over to when I started doing, because now like it's like hotels or upbeat music or cafe bossa nova lounge music, so I have to like make these playlists. Right, that makes sense, because I mean it's like a DJ almost. Yeah, like you're getting hyped for specific. Yeah, interesting. I will say like the hotel stuff, I didn't get started till I found those fakers. Found those what? Fakers. Fakers. The fake violinists, the fake buskers. So they'll like during Thanksgiving, Christmas is more of the time you'll see them, but they go out there, they'll be in parking lots, and they're just playing tracks with violin already in it, and they're pretending to play. Are you kidding me? I'm not kidding. And it like frustrated me so bad because they were making bank during that time when I was not making much during like COVID. And it's like, they're playing perfection. It's like already pre-recorded, like some really great violinists. And so there's like no mistakes. It's just like, I was like, oh my gosh. And all these people are like, oh my gosh, you're so good. And I go up and I was like going to offer this girl a job, and I come up closer and I see her fingers aren't moving. It's like a Lego hand moving around, and then her bow's not even matching. Oh, like they didn't even play violin. They weren't even like someone that knew how to play, but were just. No, there was one other one that I ran into, and he was like beginner level. Okay. But so he kind of was able to match more, but he was still mocking. It's blowing my mind right now. Yeah, it really frustrated me. I never get angry, and I was like livid, like
I
shaking angry. And I go run home and grab my violin and I grab an amp, and then I come back and I realize I can't compete with the sound because she's got a speaker and I have nothing to plug into. So I was determined. I went to Home Depot. I rented a generator from there. And they're like, "Oh, we've seen them out there. We don't even care. We're not even going to charge you. Go out there, kick her butt." And I probably looked so silly, but I set up like right across from her, and I'm like plugging my amp into the generator, like having to start it up, and then I start soloing the music that she's pretending to play. I actually start playing it. And then she turns everything off and comes over. "Wow, you're a real one," blah, 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 and trying to talk me up. But at that point, I realized she's not leaving. This is her corner. It's just fancy bum.
Right. Fancy bum. Yeah. Or fake news / fake music.
Yeah.
You know, that's what makes me want to throw up right now. I've never heard anything like that. I mean, wow.
But after that, it got me to find this amp that it's got wheels. You've got 2 inputs, it's got effects, and then it's Bluetooth from your phone. So I was able to make playlists, and I would go out and busk on the Denton Square.
Oh, nice.
And that's when I got picked up by the general manager from Embassy Suites. And then someone saw me from there and started having me play at Far Company Music. I started playing for her too. So.
Oh yeah, I know her. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay.
That's how I did the hotels.
So I guess you can kind of thank that person for getting you up off your ass, or not even that. You're not lazy and by any stretch you're doing so many bands. It's more about like, oh, I can see how I can make that work better, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. And then that led to
and do it real.
Yeah, well, being authentic. I mean, anyone that's not authentic in art, I just like, don't bother us. Just stay home. Do it to yourself. I don't know. So that makes me think another question. Are you writing music?
The most I have been wanting to start a solo thing, a couple projects. One of them will have original writing, so
okay.
I don't want to get too much into it.
That's fine. It's just that I'm asking only because you're playing violin. I know traditionally, I guess a lot of violin is written parts, but then I guess in some of your situation, you might be having to come up with your own parts, right?
I will say a lot of it is like I'm making things up, and then I try to like in Helium Queens too. That's probably the most that we've all kind of collabed in it, but a lot of those melody lines, you know, like Poppy's like, "Here's the chord, make something up, Charlotte."
Yeah, that's good. That now makes me curious, because like I know like with some musicians, like they learn how to read music and then they can't improvise. Was there something with the fiddle stuff where they were teaching you improvising?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I will say classical people have the hardest time improvising.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they're stuck in front of sheet music.
Yeah, and they just aren't working that at all in any way. But that's why I'm saying, like, if you're making up your own parts, that must have come from somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think also the electronic stuff, playing with Star Party and like DJs and stuff, like you start to hear you make these little riffs. I guess jazz, we kind of do it too. Like in Soul Kitchen, we'll go up in a corner and we'll make these little lines, but I have a hard time with that one because the music's like still playing while we're doing it, and
Yeah, I know. So I see some people talking and they're figuring it out on there, and I'm like, wow, dude, like it's enough to like make it up in the spot, but now you're like conferring. Like I'll see horn players like when they'll play like 2 notes off the mic and then they're playing a whole line. It's nutty. I get it. You know what's funny about Star Party? I'm gonna admit how stupid I am. I only today learned that it was a Daft Punk tribute.
Originally, yeah.
Oh, but it went further than that?
It went further than that.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
maybe
we had a lot of originals.
I'm not a total idiot then. Because like when I saw, first of all, when I saw you guys, I was at Artco when it first opened, and I was new to shooting, and it was really fun to shoot because like you guys are wearing costumes and masks, and you know, and I just dug up the photos for you as well from the show.
Yeah.
Like they have this new denoise feature, so even though I sucked, I can clean the photos up now, so they look like decent. Yeah. So otherwise, I would have been like, I don't remember ever shooting you before. So okay, so that's interesting. But you do play in a bunch of tribute bands too.
Yeah, I'm in a Taylor Swift tribute right now. George Strait tribute, all subbing, and the Garth tribute's down.
The which one?
There was a Garth tribute one, but it's down.
Okay.
There's As Big as Texas. I guess that's just like a bunch of cover songs,
right?
Country stuff. But yeah, I guess the Taylor Swift tribute is the big.
I just thought it was fun. I couldn't believe how. I know those girls knew it wasn't Taylor, but they just were going crazy anyway.
Oh yeah.
They didn't care. Like there's a barrier, you know, where the photo like area is. And those girls pushed it all the way to the stage because they just were trying to grab her hand the whole show. It was really cute, but I was like, whoa, those kids. It's like, I'm glad I got out of there when I did.
Yeah. It's fun.
It's fun. I mean, yeah, I don't know. The whole debate about tribute and not, I just think, if you're making people happy with music, what's the difference?
Well, I think also if you're playing a lot of it live too, makes it, because there are some tributes where it's literally they're just playing to the tracks. The tracks are so loud that it's overpowering.
Sure.
We had a couple shows where the tracks weren't working or we were having trouble with it, and we had to play it live. So
right.
That just shows, like, as musicians, we're able to still do it. So.
Yeah, I mean, the first time I saw Beck, they couldn't get their sampler right. It was like right when Loser came out, and he couldn't play Loser.
Oh no!
It was like, okay, great, thanks, dude, for that show. The Helium Queens. We've been like talking a little bit about that, but like, tell us a little bit more about that.
Oh yeah, call it the Girls Space Band, but it's got a unique story. Poppy's probably better at that storyline, but it's like we're from the future and from the moon, and we come back in time to help the people not destroy the world or something.
That's cool.
But yeah, so our songs, like, we've got some really a lot of pop ones, but there's like some dark ones too, and like HQ one is like really like the end of the world, death and destruction, and then it goes into Persephone. We haven't played Persephone in a while, but it's like kind of the regrowth, like I don't know. So.
Cool. And did I see that you do the costumes? Or you all kind of chip in?
We all kind of chip in. There's, yeah, here and there. I mean, it was kind of like with Star Party too. Like originally, I would help with the. At first, we would all match with our masks.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what? It just evolved because it was too tricky.
Everyone started wearing their own masks at a point.
Oh, I see. Yeah, be more original, I guess, or more like not original, but identity, self-identity. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, I got to take a second.
And we just went on tour. Yeah, it's Helium Queens, and we have like a couple new songs coming out.
You just went on tour, like?
Yeah, like a little mini Texas.
Cool.
Tour.
Cool. When is your show?
Our next one?
Yeah. This is gonna air on the 24th.
Oh, nice. Okay. Let me see.
I'll cut all this out. Don't worry.
I don't know if we have one coming up. Like.
Oh, I thought I saw there was something coming up. Maybe I'm confusing it.
Oh, we just had one the 30th.
That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah, we actually don't have one on the books yet.
Okay.
But
Are you guys doing another album with that? I mean, you did one album already, or is it just a live performance?
I think we recorded one of the new songs.
Okay.
But not like a whole new album, but yeah. I mean, we're talking about doing the space opera next year.
Like recording it or performing it?
Performing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. No,
I'm sure it will be recorded too if there's new material. Like.
Right.
So,
okay.
Yeah, the space opera was fun.
Oh yeah, DJ Solja.
Oh yeah.
What's that project exactly? The DJ's violin?
Yeah, DJ versus violin.
Versus violin. Okay.
Yeah. So we started not that long after, probably 2013. He saw me in Star Party at House of Blues and was like, "Hey, would you be down for this project?" And so yeah, we've been doing it every once in a while. There'll be a big gig, usually corporate stuff, and
right. He does a lot of that. He does a lot of those like big parties too.
Yeah,
I see.
We've done some wild ones. We did. I don't know if I could. I think I could talk about it now that the show's done. We did Adele's private Halloween party.
What?
We had to sign a confidentiality agreement for that one. That's why I was like, I don't know if I can talk. But
right.
I think after.
Yeah, I mean, it's
done.
not like.
Yeah, no one's gonna come. You can't go back in time.
I mean, if Adele were to hear this, that would be amazing. I'm not counting on it though. I think she'd probably.
I bumped into her.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Did you say anything? You're just like,
No, I mean, like, you want to try to just blend in.
Yeah.
But I do remember. I was trying to figure out who she was. I couldn't figure it out, and I remember this one person dressed in the mask. This lady dressed in like full on, green mask, yellow jumpsuit. And I just want to be like, wow, that was so cool. But yeah, like on the dance floor, like after playing, like
wait,
I bumped into her.
Oh, because you didn't know what she was wearing.
I didn't know, and then I found out later. I saw like this thing written on her. Oh, Adele was at this party, and she was dressed as a mask, and I was like, I bumped into her. That's cool.
Nice.
But yeah, we've also played for Hodor after his character got killed off from Game of Thrones. He did a tour, Rave of Thrones, a DJ, which is quite amazing how tall he is, because our DJ Soja is really tall.
Yeah.
And he had to step on this like stepping stool to get up to the booth because it was set up for Hodor.
Wow.
So, but yeah, we opened up for him at the Bomb Factory, and then before that, Idina Menzel, like when Frozen was a big thing, she sang at the Meyerson, and we were outside the Frozen Lounge over in the corner. And then the Mavs, we've done charity events for a couple of those, and Dallas Cowboys, there was one where we were on stage playing, and all the Cowboys came up, and but most of them are corporate parties. And
Sure.
there was one really wild one where it was like an energy company, and they flew us out to Miami, free flight, free room. You're on a 4-story yacht, and each level of the yacht was different themes with the different DJs. So it was like 80s, 90s, 2000s, and future on top.
Oh, wow.
DJ Violin was the future on top. And yeah, they had like 10-foot tall, robot guys and Tron looking chicks and Miami cheerleaders there and fireworks going off. It was really crazy.
Oh man, that sounds like your violin is taking you to some pretty interesting places. I mean, okay. Oh yeah, I was going to ask you some other, like, so when you're doing your Starport party and you're doing Healing Queens, you're doing a different violin, right? You're using a different type of violin, or
the light up one?
I'm asking. Yeah, I mean, I saw one with mirrors on it.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, are you making those yourself? Are you buying those like that?
Yeah, I'm making. You can't find them.
Yeah, I didn't
like
think
to
so.
bling things up.
Yeah.
So I have 2 acoustic and 2 electric, and the 2 electric, one's like just more shiny mirrorish, and then that one's 6 strings, and then the other electric and the crossbreed acoustic electric are 5 strings. So you get that C string, which is always nice to have. And
With
then
the lower one or the higher one?
Lower.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't go higher. Otherwise, I would cheat.
Right.
But yeah, the other one, I have an LED strip around it, so I play that one for the space bands.
Nice. And then that doesn't affect the sound in any way when you're doing that kind of thing?
No.
Yeah.
It sounds good. I like that. So there's one violin that I've been eyeballing called the Viper, only because like it has a shoulder strap that goes around, so you don't have to hold it up with your neck. But it's like $3,000, and I don't know. I've seen videos of people playing with it, and I haven't heard it myself, but the videos I've seen, I don't really like the sound compared to the violins that I got. Like,
I see. So it would be more comfortable, but
if I could make it
to
where I can shoulder strap it.
And we need to get you a violin endorsement where they'll make you that violin.
Yeah, help me
the
invent
Sharla,
something.
the Shar party violin.
Yeah, right.
So wait, so did I misunderstand? I thought I read that you wanted to maybe make costumes for other performers at some point. Did I misunderstand?
I used to. In Star Party, I made a lot, and I still kind of do sometimes.
Well, it's not like an ambition to like help other young psychedelic.
I'm just so busy.
Yeah,
but that would
bands.
be fun. Like, I would love that, especially like with the solo thing. That might be far in the future until that like actually comes into fruition. But I'd love to make things that are space, anything space.
Yeah.
Or mirrors.
Yeah.
I like both those.
What?
Or LED.
If you're in 20 bands, so how many shows are you playing a week on average?
All the time.
Like 2 a days, 3 a days?
Well, I wouldn't say per day. Actually, pre-COVID, I was doing like 3 in a day.
Wow.
It happened a lot. But it's like every weekend there's something, but there's always a rehearsal and stuff going on.
Right. Yeah, you're always practicing for something if you're not performing. Yeah.
I still have my day job too. So.
And you still have your day job?
Yeah.
You still don't sleep, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. That's impressive. I mean, I didn't even ask. I just assumed there's no way you could. That's amazing. Okay. All right. Wow. So I know you already talked about like you have a solo thing you're not going to get into. Do you have any like dream gigs, like a place or a person or something along like to just like, if I could do this, it would be so cool.
I don't know. It'd be cool to meet Lindsay Sterling.
Okay.
Okay.
Meet her, like jam with her?
Jam with her, but She would kick my butt dance-wise. I could keep up with her playing-wise, but
Wait,
dance-wise.
Do you dance too, though?
No.
Okay,
I am
so-
not flexible.
Well, so then I'm sure a lot of people could beat you dancing. That's not really.
Well, she dances and plays at the same time. That's why.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. I obviously not familiar.
Just EDM violin.
Okay.
I do like Grimes, if I could incorporate like that with violin. She actually played violin on one song, like a little, not bad, but not
She's not a violin player.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that kind of style of spacey stuff with some,
Right.
well,
Do you sing too, or just it's just?
yeah, I do.
I mean, lead or mostly harmonies?
I didn't consider myself a singer until recently, I guess, because I started getting asked more and more for it, and I didn't realize that not all vocalists can pick up as quickly on harmony and stuff, and my ear just does it. But yeah, all of us family members, like, since our family band, we've all sang.
That
and
makes
in the
sense.
Mormon church,
Sure.
you sing like 3 songs for every thing.
Oh,
The
okay. Like
chapel and the,
everything is just a song. Basically,
Yeah.
it's like a sorority, sort of.
There's lots of songs we sing.
Okay.
But yeah, so I've sang a lot, but I just never considered myself a singer because I was always the violinist of the family, and
Right.
then my 2 sisters and my mom were like they're the singers, and my 2 sisters, like, their range is all over the place. I always thought I was more of an alto, and then I started getting. I think the first band I had Star Party, I sang a couple songs in that, but then after that I didn't really sing till the Irish band. County Rexford, which hasn't been back since COVID. I miss it, but everyone's kind of doing their thing now. But those were a lot of fun, like sea chanties and all these cool Irish tunes. And then after that, I think Sarah Carino, I started singing with. I sing a lot with her. We do a lot of duos,
Okay.
duo harmonies. I love singing with her. Her voice and I we just click.
What project is that you're singing with her in?
It's like old time country,
Okay.
and she's got a
that's-
lot of originals.
Okay. Because I remember you had a tribute, like a kind of a covers band, but that's not that band.
No,
It's harder to keep track with your bands. Just saying. Like I can remember about 3 for sure, and then it starts to get
yeah.
fuzzy.
So then I sang a lot with her, and then I think it just kind of got out that Sharla can sing, and then the Taylor Swift tribute, like that one really pushed my vocal range.
You sing a lot in that, I remember.
Yes,
now,
I
but-
sing on, I think, all but 2 or maybe 3 songs.
Yeah.
But, like, pretty much all of them. And they're up there. So I have to cover for some of the low vocals when the vocalist doesn't, because some of them, like, it'll jump from really low to high.
Sure.
And so they're like, can you sing the low part? And then I'll do the high. And so I'll be like, like, tilt the microphone down and do the really low voice. And then I
Right.
do the high right after too.
Right.
So I can't remember which. There's one of the songs like that where it jumps and I'm like doing really low, and then I flip it up and then I sing this really high thing right after. So yeah, that really made my voice stronger and pushed it.
I could see that, how like you're already a sought after violinist. Now you can put in backup vocals. I mean, that's like you're unstoppable at that point. I mean,
Yeah.
because to me, harmonies are like, I don't know, just the harmonies is what makes something good to great, for like great to amazing.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I used to
Makes it
harmonize all the
rich.
time. Yeah. I had bands in LA, but like in LA, it's like I wasn't paying people, so like they just kept coming in and out. So like we would do shows with like 3 practices, so no one ever could harmonize because nobody like knew the music that much. So I missed
Yeah.
that, but yeah, it's good stuff.
I can't leave out my sisters too. Our little sister band, because when you take the power of 3 sisters' voices together.
Yeah. Wait, which band is that? That's the family band?
Texas Trio.
Texas Trio, and that's
We spawned during COVID because we
Okay.
were just doing streams. So we just do like a song request with streams, and then so it's just like kind of country twist on modern tunes or just
Right.
tunes through the ages. And
it's just it does kind of blow my mind. I mean, whatever, like nobody's limited to one genre, but you're just your genre range, like your interest in the stuff that you seem to be doing well is kind of mind blowing to me. Like, you know, I saw you do 2 different things, and like I'm like, okay, now I have 18 more bands to check off. It seems like to see the different sides of you.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to find the message that I had sent with all the bands listed earlier, just in case I had to go through, but it's like,
What? Wait, what?
hold on. I think that's most of them, or that should be all of them.
Oh my god! You need to send that so we can post that, because that's unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like 4 times as many questions I had written down.
Yeah,
as bands
someone was
member.
asking which bands I do backup vocals in, and so I had to
see.
go through all the bands, and
Right.
yeah, there was a lot more than I realized, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in 20. So
Oh, maybe it's like children, but is there a favorite, or is there like
that's actually what I say, is that it's like picking your kids.
Yeah.
I can't really, and I don't really join bands that I don't see as good.
Sure. But I mean, like, is there one band that you're like, this is where I get to shine on the violin, or this is a band where I get to really sing, or
They all shine, but
Yeah.
with different variety, different styles. So I can't.
yeah, you're running for office, very diplomatic. But no, I'm so happy you came, and you know, like, tell people where they can find you online.
Sharla Franklin Music. That's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and then Sharp Party is also on there. That's TikTok. If I ever get back on Twitch, but also Instagram as well. That's my more kind of personal, fun one. And then the Sharla Franklin Music is primarily bands, but my stuff as well.
Cool.
I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I can't believe that I haven't run into you more, considering this, because I'm like, you know, shooting music all the time. But actually, twice I've shot. You're like, oh, that was Sharla. Okay. Duh. Anyway, hey, thanks so much for coming down and doing this today.
yeah, absolutely.
I'd like to thank my guest, Sharla Franklin. You can catch her if you just go out of your house. No, I'm kidding. You can find the links on the show notes. The theme song is Salim Nirala's Unstoppable. We love that, and we love him. And I'm very excited for season 2. There's a lot of great guests coming up, and I know that you're going to enjoy all of them. So just tune in, keep your eye out for what's next, and we'll talk to you next time.